You mentioned your politics. You're a very political person. Obviously, you care. And we should. We're citizens.
Yes.
And people think. I think sometimes people think, if you're famous, you're an athlete, that you're unaffected, you're unimpacted by what's transpired. I care.
Yeah.
I care about the economy. I care about inflation.
Yeah.
I care about the hunger and things of the homelessness.
Yes.
I care about those things.
Yes. Yes.
Having money doesn't exempt you from world problems.
At all.
Maybe give you a better avenue to be able to deal with those, but it doesn't exempt you.
Right.
You're a big Stacey Abrams proponent. Are you
Yes.
surprised? I mean, the last time she ran, she lost by 80,000 votes. This time it wasn't even close. Are you surprised that it was such a blowout this time around?
I wasn't, because I think it just speaks to where Georgia is right now.
Yeah.
I think that there was, first of all, Stacey's incredible.
Yes.
She ran an incredible campaign the first time. And a lot of people thought, because in 2020 and then 2021, when we had the Senate runoffs, we got two Democratic senators, a black man and a Jewish man.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
In the state of Georgia.
Yes.
But what people don't really understand is that it was a very unique confluence of events that allowed that to happen. Okay? You were coming off 2020, where you had Georgia Republicans and Republicans nationwide that just said, I'm not going to vote for Trump.
Right.
Okay? You said you had people that literally voted all the way down the ticket and did not vote for him. They said, I'm tired of the last 4 years.
And normally, for the most part, you vote down ballot from top to bottom.
That is correct. You had a lot of people that did not vote there. Then in that runoff, you had him and a lot of other people saying, well, the election is rigged.
Right.
It's fraud everywhere. So you had a lot of Republicans that stayed home.
Stayed home.
They did not come. And Ossoff and Warnock benefited from that, because those of us that work very hard to energize the Democratic base, we got our folks out, right? This time around, there was a big push amongst Republicans. You see that every midterm, the party that's not in power usually comes out and comes strong.
Right.
And so in Georgia, ultimately, you still do have a lot more Republican registered voters. And so their base is bigger than the Democratic base there. Stacey was up against that. Now, it speaks to, when you look at Senator Warnock, it speaks to the fact that he was up against a very flawed candidate, because just about every other statewide race in Georgia, the Republicans won.
Correct.
But that one, they couldn't get it there.
Right.
You had a lot of people that said, I can't do that.
Right.
I can't hold my nose and punch that Walker ticket.
Right. So what? Now, obviously, we're gonna have a runoff. I think it's December 6th.
It is.
Between Senator Warnock and Herschel Walker.
Yep.
And look, I don't have anything. I don't want to come out here and speak bad about Herschel, but I think what is, for me, my problem is that he's allowed them to make him a caricature of the worst stereotype that's been portrayed on us for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
And it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
The way he's taught, to hear him talk about certain things. And I'm like, seriously?
Yeah.
Serious? I'm like, people, seriously?
Yeah. Here's the challenge, and I'm saying this to you, black man to black man,
Yes.
successful black man to successful black man, high-profile media black man to somebody that also works in media, right? Here's the challenge, Shannon. It hurts us to see a black man in that position. Now, if Herschel Walker was doing almost anything else, selling cars or hosting a late-night show, anything, right? I wouldn't have any issues, and I would have a problem with people making fun or demonizing or characterizing him in a negative way.
Right.
But you're talking about running for one of the most powerful positions in the country.
Yes.
It has to matter.
Yes.
And we know for a fact that you've got people on the other side that said, we're going to prop up somebody that is unqualified. We are very intentionally going to put somebody in a position who does not have the qualifications, right? Qualifications have to matter when you're talking about the U.S. Senate, brother.
Yeah, it should.
That's what's painful. I hate the fact that we have a black man running for Senate who is so severely unqualified and is so very clear.
Right.
And he happens to be running against another black man, right? Happens to be a pastor, and you have a lot of evangelicals in the South, in Georgia, that are like, well, I'm gonna vote for Walker.
Right.
I'm not gonna vote for the pastor, I'm gonna vote for the other guy. That's just about you being in your own echo chamber and just following along with the political divide.
Right.
It's not about the most qualified candidate. You can't nobody of any intelligence is gonna argue that.
Correct.
Right? But it just shows where we are, and so you feel, we do, and a lot of people, like, we know they are using this brother.
Right.
He's allowing himself to be used.
But you know what? Sometimes the hardest people to see that is the person that's being used.
Oh.
It's kind of, we've all seen that, man, she's using him or he's using her.
Yeah, absolutely.
They don't see that, but you're on the outside, sometimes you're so close, you don't feel or you can't sense what's actually going on.
That's
we're
the
looking
sad
at this
part, man.
and we're watching all the voters tie themselves up in pretzels. They ask, this Republican base is so against abortions. Well, Herschel played for abortions. Well, that's different. Yeah. Hold on, what do you mean?
Yeah.
I thought you'd say killing an unborn child is murder, but if he's driving the lady to the place and paying for it, what is that? Right. Well, it all depends on what is God. That's between him and his God. Oh, really? Yeah. So what about the woman and her God?
Yeah. Yeah. You can justify anything when you want to. When you don't want to look at the truth, you want to justify it, you can.
Right.
And that's what's happening there. And by the way, you said it. If you think he is going to these rallies and looking at these people and thinking, I'm qualified, I got a chance to win, I might win, I should win, right? That's how he's thinking of it. He's not looking at it as there is a structure that is using you, right, to try to undermine something that's happening with another political party. Not because you are qualified or we want your ideals or we want your skill set.
Right.
No, we just need a body. We need somebody that's popular. And like I know, in Georgia, God football family, and that order switches depending on the day of the week, brother.
He's still
a legend.
A legend.
Absolutely. People look at him and they say some of the fondest memories I have
of Herschel
were with him running the ball, taking Georgia across the end zone.
Yeah.
I will always love him. I'll always have a fondness. That's the power of sports.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing.
But when you blur the lines and you talk about putting somebody in a position of real power, that's where it gets disturbing. That's where we got a responsibility to do the right thing.
You know what to do. Hit the subscribe button and become an official member of Club Shay Shay, where we do something before two something.